I want you to picture something for a second. What happens when a brand, one that's famous for sophisticated luxury, takes a smooth, refined coupe and just gives it a serious attitude problem? Well, you get the Audi RS5. Today, we're breaking down a machine that literally promises to do it all, and we're going to find out if it's actually worth your hard-earned money.
So, what if a performance car didn't want to kill you? I mean, we're so used to high-performance coupes being wild, untamed, and frankly, kind of terrifying in the rain. But the whole premise of the RS5 is completely different. It's not trying to be the most unhinged wild car in its class. Instead, it's this brutally fast machine that you can actually live with every single day.
Here's our roadmap for today's explainer. First, we'll hit the performance car catch. Then, power and quattro magic. Third is design, comfort, and practicality. Fourth, we'll do 5 loves and 5 annoyances. And finally, the ultimate showdown, the RS5 versus the M4 versus the C63.
Okay, let's dive into Section 1, the performance car catch. This is where attitude meets usability.
Because when you walk up to the RS5, you're immediately struck by its presence. The front end is super aggressive, the grille is absolutely massive, the wheel arches are visibly wider, and those huge oval exhaust outlets at the back, they ensure nobody mistakes this for a standard A5. But underneath all that aggressive styling lies a highly engineered 2.9-liter twin-turbocharged V6. We're talking 450 horsepower and 600 newton-meters of torque, folks. And all that force is routed through a remarkably smooth 8-speed automatic transmission.
And that translates to 4 seconds flat. That's what 450 horsepower actually means in the real world. You put the car in its sportiest settings, hold the brake, let the boost build, and just release. The RS5 doesn't waste time thinking, it doesn't spin its tires, it just hooks up and launches, hitting 60 miles per hour in roughly 4 seconds flat, without any hesitation at all.
Moving right along to Section 2, power and quattro magic, traction over terror. Now, you might be wondering, what happens when you actually push this car hard on a wet, miserable Tuesday morning when the roads are, let's say, less than perfect? Well, this is where the Audi Quattro philosophy really comes in. While a high-powered rear-wheel drive competitor might struggle, spin, or force you to white-knuckle the steering wheel just to put power down on a slick road, the RS5 distributes its power across all 4 wheels. It just keeps moving forward. The philosophy is incredibly simple. Don't make the driver fight the car, make the car work for the driver. And this creates just an incredibly confidence-inspiring ride. It's remarkably fast, for sure, but it never feels like it's trying to bite you. However, that extreme stability does come with a bit of a trade-off. Audi lowered and stiffened the suspension, widened the track, and added these massive multi-piston brakes that keep the car incredibly composed even under really hard stopping. But the steering doesn't communicate quite as well as what you'd find in the best BMW M cars. With the BMW, you feel literally every detail of the road. It feels a lot more like a driver's toy. The Audi, on the other hand, is a carefully controlled high-performance weapon. You know it's gripping absolutely, but you aren't feeling every single pebble through the steering wheel.
Which brings us to Section 3, Design, Comfort, and Practicality, the Jekyll and Hyde experience.
This car truly has a dual personality. It has this muscular, angry design that looks undeniably expensive, mostly thanks to those wider side skirts and that really subtle rear spoiler. But you know what? It doesn't scream for attention like some of its rivals do. You can easily drive this to the office without looking like you're trying too hard. Inside, it's a quiet, refined luxury coupe for your morning commute, and then a canyon-carving performance weapon in the afternoon. The sporty RS seats hold you super tight during aggressive cornering, but they remain totally comfortable on long highway trips. It's packed with modern tech, digital displays, voice controls, the whole shebang. But the real magic here is the RS driving modes. Want a relaxed, quiet ride? You've got it. Want sharper steering and a highly responsive engine? Just tap a button. The car completely changes its personality.
There is a bit of a practicality catch, though. The trunk cargo space is a very generous 450 liters, which is plenty of room for a weekend getaway. But because of that beautiful sloping roofline, the rear seats are, well, they're best reserved for your luggage or maybe friends you don't like very much. If you're hauling adults daily, you might want to look at the Audi RS4 wagon instead, which gives you similar performance but with way more space.
All right, let's get into Section 4, 5 loves and 5 annoyances, the objective breakdown.
Let's weigh the brilliant stuff against the flaws. Starting with the annoyances, because of that front-heavy drivetrain layout, the RS5 can definitely push into understeer when you really attack a corner. Plus, rear visibility is kind of compromised by that stylish roof. Getting the best adaptive suspension is going to cost you extra. Some versions are electronically limited to 155 miles per hour, and because of modern regulations, the exhaust sound is a bit muted compared to older Legends. But hey, look at the bright side. The Quattro system gives you absolute unwavering confidence in rain or shine. You have 450 horsepower ready to go at all times. The daily usability is literally unmatched. It's perfectly civilized Monday through Friday. The technology is subtle but super modern, and its endless versatility means you can do a quiet road trip today and a track date tomorrow. So the scale definitely leans heavily toward it being a brilliant daily driver.
Finally, Section 5, RS5 vs M4 versus C63, the ultimate choice.
First up, its biggest rival from Munich, the BMW M4. Now, these two are built for entirely different mindsets. The M4 is sharp, it's aggressive, and it's incredibly connected. If maximum driver involvement and that tail-happy rear-wheel drive style are what you're after, the BMW makes a massive argument for itself. But the Audi counters with smooth, all-weather confidence and civilized daily usability. You really don't need to be a professional racing driver to extract the performance out of the Audi.
Then we have the Mercedes-AMG C63. Now, AMG has taken a completely different route here, leaning really heavily into electrification, massive technological complexity, and absolutely extreme power outputs. It's basically a high-tech powerhouse. The RS5, by contrast, relies on subtle performance. It's quiet and manageable when you want it to be, just waiting in the background until you demand that 450 horsepower. It really doesn't need to shout about its capabilities until you specifically ask it to.
So what does this all mean? What is the final verdict here? Well, it might not be the loudest, wildest, or most emotionally taxing car on a canyon road, but it doesn't need to scare you every time you press the accelerator. It just needs to be incredibly good at everything you throw at it. I wouldn't call it the ultimate driver's car. I'd call it the ultimate everyday performance car. And honestly, that's a pretty impressive achievement.
It somehow manages to wrap speed, luxury, technology, and weather-beating practicality into one beautifully understated package. If you enjoyed this review, hit the like button, subscribe for more new car reviews, and let me know in the comments. Would you take the Audi RS5, BMW M4, or Mercedes-AMG C63? Because that is one comparison I definitely want to hear your answer on.